you don't go to Los Angeles when you're 40. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Unless you're coming down there with what they call heat. You've got something in your pocket. They've seen the movie and they're going, okay, yeah. And I mean, I went to a lot of different agencies. I mean, I got an agent, I got a manager, got all of that stuff, but I wasn't getting auditions. Maybe because I did not have a best manager or whatever. I don't know, but I wasn't getting them. And of course, when you're coming from a place where I was working a fair bit, and then you come down to Los Angeles, and those words that I remember I was taking acting classes down there, and I remember going into the first class, and the teacher, Julie Ariola, was saying, okay, before we start our classes and stuff, okay, what have you guys been doing? What have you been up to? And and then you hear some stories about I haven't auditioned in 2 years. I got my first commercial after 4 years or whatever. I mean, there would be a standing ovation because, and it hit me then when you're not in Kansas anymore, buddy. This is a whole new ball game.
Oh yeah,
whole new ball game. I had a friend of mine who was on NYPD Blue, and so I reached out to him and I said, "Can you get me an audition for Stephen Bochco?" And he said, "Yeah, I do," and he did it. He got me that, and I had a great audition. And he told me, he said, I got feedback for you. And I said, so I got a shot. He said, Ron, they really like you. They're going to bring you back. But remember, there's 100,000 actors in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And not all of them are actors. They call themselves actors, but it's, there's maybe 23,000 in all of Canada, So he just said, baby, you got to be patient. So when you go down to Los Angeles, either you're coming down with something, or you go there when you're young, and you got to put in the time, and you got to be patient. I have a lot of friends who put in the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? That wonderful actor, and shame on me, the name's not coming to me, in Groundhog Day.
Bill Murray?
Stephen Tobolowsky.
Okay.
Beautiful actor. I remember going into an audition room, and there was Stephen, and I had to go up to him, and I'm going, Stephen, I really love your work. I know you don't know me from a hole in the wall, but I just want to thank you for your, just wonderful to watch you. And he was very gracious. And I said, help me out here. Why are you auditioning? They know you.
Yeah.
Why? And he said, Ron, yeah, they'll know me and they'll say hi and stuff, but no, I still gotta do the dog and pony show,
Yeah.
So he's a journeyman actor. He's good and he's respected and stuff, right? There's very few to win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure George Clooney would be the first to say he worked, but he knew, and his feet are so grounded. He knew. He got lucky, right?
Yeah.
Right time. ER was a brilliant show. He's got the looks, he's got everything, and
it was Roseanne, wasn't it?
Was it Roseanne? I don't know. I mean, ER really was the one, but
he was on Roseanne first. It was her that found him. I'm pretty sure.
Her that found him.
Probably, yeah.
But what was so beautiful about George Clooney is that when ER happened and the success that it was, he never broke his contract.
Yeah.
He stayed with the show.
Yeah.
David Caruso in NYPD, beautiful actor. Yeah, he should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
He thought, he listened to his agent who said, no, you're going to be huge and do features and all of that. And again, I don't know all the inside story, but you just never know. But the US has that thing where you put in the time, you just never know what can happen.
Yeah.
And how your life can change. And if you handle it right, and you also get the opportunity. I just worked with a gentleman in Montreal on a show that's on NBC called Transplant. And it was so beautiful because he's the lead in this, and it's just finished wrapping. It's his third year. And I congratulated him on winning lead actor and stuff. And He said, Ron, you may not remember me, but I met you 10 years ago. I was an extra.
Wow.
And you talked to me about the business and what I had to do if I
Mm.
had to get into it and stuff. And he said, thank you so much. And now he's with a massive agency in Los Angeles that represents Alejandro Inarritu, who did Reverend,
Mm.
right? So he's going to get a chance to meet and possibly work with some of the biggest directors in the world.
Mm.
That's what can happen to you when you get that, when that thing happens. A friend of mine worked on Boardwalk Empire
Yeah.
with Martin Scorsese.
Wow.
Okay. For his character, he said, Martin, this character listens to a particular opera and stuff like that. He said, I need to get those tapes. Who brought the tapes to him? To his where he was staying in New York? Martin Scorsese.
Oh, wow.
He said, that's Marty. That's
Mm.
what this man is about and stuff. So for me, when I moved to LA, it wasn't about fame. It's never been about fame. It was about, my God, if I could get to work with the people I grew up watching, to
Yeah.
be in the same room as a Scorsese or a Spielberg, or there's so many other countless directors or whatever in the States that are brilliant. You know, I mean, I grew up watching Al Pacino
Mm.
and Bobby De Niro and Harvey Keitel and you know, and the great Jeff Bridges. And yeah, I mean, that's what it does to you, because you go, that's what you got into this for.